Principal of Power School, David Angelini. Principal of Harris School, Martha Newhoff. Principal of Shute School, Greg Ring. Principal of Norwood Junior High School, Michael Diamond. Principal of Steele High School, Michael Dixon. Assistant Principal of High School, Jeffrey Rizzo. Student Council Advisor and Associate Principal of Steele High School, Thomas Lehman. Student Council Vice President, Lindsay Plato. Student Council Recording Secretary, Margaret DeFlippo. Student Council Corresponding Secretary, Stephanie Porter. I would also like to welcome past acceptees into the gallery attending today. Valerie Jenkins Gerstenberger graduated in '31. She was inducted in 1987. Cheryl Cookie McLavoda graduated in 1960, and she was inducted in 1992. Thank you.
the Amherst schools. As we begin our homecoming activities and celebrate the pride and tradition of the Amherst schools, I believe we should take a moment to reflect on those who have given so much to provide us our freedom, and those who will sacrifice much to maintain our freedom in the weeks, months, and years to come. Please join me in a moment of silent reflection. Thank you. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the 14th Annual Amherst Alumni Gallery of Success Inductions. When we began planning this event 15 years ago, we did not realize how important this program would become to our school community. The success of our program is directly related to those who plan the activity. At this time, I would like to thank the following people who are responsible for the organization of today's program: the Steele Student Council and their president, Betsy Davis, and their advisor, Mr. Tom Lehman; the Parents and Teachers for Steele organization and their president, Mrs. Kay Teets; and finally, the Amherst Choir and their director, Mr. Mark Sladden. You sounded fantastic this morning. Congratulations. Without the help of these people, today's program would not be possible. To our honored guests, welcome back to the Amherst schools. I want you to understand that we have two goals for today's program. The first goal is to recognize you and people like you who have graduated from the Amherst schools and have gone on to make a difference in this world. You are joining a distinguished group, a group that includes religious leaders, authors, military leaders, historians, leaders in education, government, science, medicine, and business. Your achievements add to the outstanding reputation of the Amherst schools. Our second goal is to use you as a role model for the students who are sitting in these bleachers. We want you to help them understand that they too can go out into the world and make a difference. That they can graduate from Amherst Steele High School and place no limitations on what they can achieve. I want to thank you for taking some time out of your busy schedule to be here today. It means a tremendous amount to us. You're part of our pride, and you're part of our tradition. May God bless you. May God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
engage. I'd like to thank the selection committee for this great, great honor. I'd like to congratulate the other inductees on this great, great honor that has been bestowed upon us. Class of '59, the first class, graduated from Marion Steele High School, and things sure have changed around here. It's wonderful to see the construction taking place, moving forward in education in the community of Amherst. It's a great, great place to raise a family and get an education. Last night, I was reading the bios of the other inductees and came across phrases like fundraiser chairperson, park commissioner, community chest, Little League coach, elector of the church, workers your famous potato festival, Boy Scout leader, church youth group leader, missionary work abroad and at home, pilot in many, many missions to defend our country. An individual I got the great pleasure meeting this morning who was working on methods to eliminate tumor cells in patients. The one common theme among all these activities by these people is giving of their time and their talent to serve other people. I'm sure the other inductees feel the same as I do, and that the honor is shared by the people that influenced us along the way. The people who guided us through our formative years and taught us a work ethic and values and encouraged us to succeed. Our parents and the start we got here at Steele High School from our teachers and coaches. I look back and give thanks for the great education I received here at Amherst High School, which helped me succeed at Notre Dame. And from people like Mr. Lyle, Mrs. Thud, Ms. Murray, Mr. Cooley, Mr. Hudak, Mr. Towsley, names that are well known here in your community. I also get a lot of guidance from the Steele after this building is named through the number of visits I made to your office. They were social visits. I ask all of you today to get involved in your activities, in your school, and in your community. As Mr. Boyd said, you can make a difference. Whether it's in sports, clubs, or drama, being a study buddy for a younger student, a peer tutor, a church volunteer, or a volunteer in any type of community service. Give of your time, give of your talents. All of you are unique with unique gifts. Use them to help others. Use them to make a difference, as Mr. Boyd said. Thank you for the honor bestowed upon me today. I am sharing it with my former teachers, coaches, and administrators here at Steele High School, and thank them for the guidance and influence. You juniors and seniors out there, listen to them. Learn from them. They have much to offer you. They really do. Thank you very, very much, and best of luck in the future for your endeavors to the juniors and seniors out there. Thank you.
I would like to introduce Junior Leah Kildow, who will induct Bill and Roxanne Reynolds from the class of 1957.
Good morning. Roxanne and Bill Reynolds graduated in 1957. Very shortly after high school, they have made a tremendous team for 44 years. Together, they built a successful rental business having many Overland College students. Mr. and Mrs. Reynolds have 3 children, Linda,
Good morning. Can you hear me okay? I'm a little short. If you looked in our old yearbook back in 1957, under my name you would see Chatterbox, and under Bill's name you would see the silent type. So Bill told me to go ahead and talk first this morning. First of all, I want to thank you very much for this great honor. I am humbly so appreciative, and my heart was really touched when I found out that you, the students, looked at our lives, and you're the ones that voted and decided. And the one thing that and I'm sure everyone here who's been inducted has wrestled with is what to talk to you about today. I wanted to be very honest with you as I talked about our life. I talked about my life. I was told to tell you whatever made a big difference in my life, and to share that with you, and perhaps it would make a big difference in your life. And so today I would like to just take a brief moment and share a little bit. When I was a young girl, I came to the realization that Jesus sent his son, Jesus Christ, to die for my sins. And I accepted him as my Savior. And that has made a big difference in my life because I know God has a purpose and a plan for me. And he does for you too. And it is, of course, a decision that everybody makes on their own. And it's a very personal decision. And as we look at what's happening in our country today, and I look out at you young people, I know that some of you will be called upon to serve your country, and the decisions you make will always will be very important concerning this. And so today, I want to share with you about making decisions. All of us make good decisions, and all of us make bad decisions. And I think that there isn't one person here who hasn't made a bad decision as well as a good decision. Bill and I met in high school, and we started dating when we were 15. And he played football, and I played in the band, and we dated. One of the things that happened along the way is that I got pregnant, and I never shared that with anybody or talked with anybody about that. But I want you to know that was one of those decisions that was not a good decision. And I really debated on sharing that with you today, but I thought, should I share with them about our times in Africa? Should I share with them how one time I almost cut Bill into with a machete by accident, or we had soldiers with machine guns, or the snake stories? And then I thought, no, I need to go talk to God about this. And what I should share, and when God told me I should share this with you, I said, I really don't want to do that. Can't I just say I made a bad decision? And he said, no. There's somebody there that needs to hear you today about that. But we make mistakes in our life, and God can still take us and use us. Because I thought God would never love me again, but he does, and he has used my life mightily for him, and I'm just so thankful for that. And now I direct a pregnancy crisis center in the inner city of Cleveland. And when a girl sits down and talks with me, I know right where she's at. So you see, God was able to take that and use that for the good. And so if you make bad decisions, remember that God loves you and he wants the very best for you. And he will help you in your life and make it a life that is worthwhile. And we have had wonderful experiences, but for me the most wonderful experience is knowing Jesus Christ as my Savior. And it is my pleasure today to accept this honor in his name and to thank you all very much. Thank you.
Junior Class President Emily Miller, who will induct Dr. Carrie Campbell from the class of 1978. After graduating from Amherst in 1978, Dr. Campbell attended the University of Toledo. There he received a bachelor's degree in pharmacy in 1983. During his senior year, Dr. Campbell was elected president of his pharmacy class. During his undergraduate training, Dr. Campbell spent 3 months as an intern at Syntex Pharmaceutical Company in Palo Alto, California, finding his interest in laboratory research. Dr. Campbell attended graduate school at the Medical College of Virginia, receiving a PhD in pharmacology and toxicology with minor in immunology, and was voted Student of the Year by the faculty of his department in 1987. Dr. Campbell's next venture was his postdoctoral fellowship at the National Jewish Center for Immunology and Respiratory Medicine, Denver, Colorado. During his research career, Dr. Campbell discovered 2 proteins that are key elements for the function of antigen receptors on the surface of B cells called Ig, alpha, and beta. The B cell antigen receptors recognize infectious pathogens and activates the B cell to secrete antibodies that specifically eliminates those pathogens. This discovery began his international recognition. Dr. Campbell was invited to speak about his work at conferences in the United States, Japan, France, Switzerland, and Germany. Dr. Campbell, in 1992, accepted a position as an independent worker at the Basel Institute for Immunology in Switzerland. This is one of the most famous immunology institutes in the world. Dr. Campbell explored many areas of lymphocyte activation, including work on natural killer cells. The killer cells are a subset of white blood cells that kill certain tumor cells or violate infected cells. His research also discovered that a phosphate enzyme is recruited by a key cell surface receptor called the key inhibitory receptor. In 1998, Dr. Campbell was recruited as an associate member of the Fox Chase Cancer Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where he does research on natural kill cell activation. Dr. Campbell has edited a book and has recently been published and has secured a grant of funding from the National Institute of Health to support his research. He is also an editor for the Journal of Immunology and is currently working to develop methods that enhance the capacity of natural killer cells to eliminate tumor cells from patients. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to induct Dr. Carrie Campbell, class of 1978, into the 2001 Gallery of Success.
I did all that. It's great to be back here. I thank the City Council for selecting me for this award, and I thank Mike Stavoli actually for nominating me for the award. It's a great pleasure to be back at Amherst. I left here after I graduated from this state, and I really didn't go back much except to see my family. I've been in a lot of places, as you can tell. I didn't take the easy road in life. I took the challenging road in life. And it's been glorious, actually. I really enjoyed it. One of the things, I had a lot of time to reflect about what success means to me since I've known that I received this award. And basically, for me, it's a great sense of self-satisfaction that I achieved my life's goal. And actually, that goal started from a dream that I had when I was here as a student, that I really wanted to do biomedical research. And it's just a great sense of satisfaction that I was able to achieve that goal. And it's an amazing time in biomedical research these days, with the genome sequencing recently, with embryonic stem cells. You hear about all these things in the news. And it's a glorious time to be in the field of doing the research actually at this time, because it's moving incredibly rapidly. And if you think about it, I look at how the human body works at the molecular level.
complexity, and it's a big puzzle, and it's like the ultimate puzzle to me. You think about, you know, a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle that you might have worked on. You know, that's nothing compared to the fact that the genome, the human genome, contains 3 billion letters, essentially, and every cell in the body has those 3 billion letters. And then those letters encode 30,000 proteins, and it's our job to figure out what those proteins do and how they interact and to make a living being. And it's just very exciting to be able to do that. And I look back on what Amherst Steele did for my career, and there are two things that I pulled out. One is it gave me inspiration. The second thing was that it gave me an excellent education. And the inspiration came from very, very talented and excellent teachers. I see a lot of them here today, and it's great to see them. One of them who really influenced me a lot was Mr. Towsley, who's a chemistry teacher who's actually here today. And he influenced a great number of people who went into science and medicine in this community and have contributed a lot to the world. And Mr. Towsley was a very energetic teacher. He made chemistry incredibly fun to be in his class. I have to share a little story about one of the things he taught us one day was about density. This was one of the first classes of beginning chemistry. And he took a ball in front of the class. It was a steel ball, about maybe the size of a golf ball. And he said, "This is dense." And he took this ball and he proceeded to whip it across the room, and he hit the heater vent and smacked into it and put a dent about a half an inch under the heater vent. I hope this doesn't get you into trouble at all. I want to go back and see if it's still there. And then he took a styrofoam ball about the same size and threw it across the room, and it didn't even get to the heater vent. And he said, "That's not dense." And it's a great lesson that he taught us in that incident. And one thing that he told us once was that only 1 or 2 of you out of a class of about 40 will probably ever go on to use chemistry on a daily basis. And I kind of took that as a challenge, that I wanted to be one of those people, and now I do biochemistry on a daily basis. So it was really great to have him as a teacher. Some of the classes that I took here that I thought never would be of any value turned out to be of great value. And you should always think of that. One example is typing. Now, I came from an era when there were no computers. And I don't know if you've seen these typewriters and these things, they don't have a hard drive hooked up to them. But they're probably up in some case in your attic at home. But anyway, we learned keyboarding on these typewriters, and when computers came around, I was able to type things on the computer. It actually turned out to be one of the most valuable courses I took in high school. Another thing was 2 years of German came in very handy when I lived in Switzerland. At least a building block to learn the German language, which was the local language. Another thing was English. And I see Mr. Strome here. Mr. Hubbard was another one who influenced me a lot. Being able to learn how to write in English is incredibly valuable today because I need to write everything that I do and it's published. And that was one thing that I've noticed is that even PhDs, many other PhDs that I've seen trained, don't know how to write. And my writing skills I learned here. I really appreciate that. Two other things about life. First of all, get some inspiration. Get a goal in life is one of the most important things I think I can tell you today. And the second thing is to focus your life around that goal and try to achieve it. And I don't know how much more I can say about that. I heard a quote the other day that I think is very pertinent to this group. It was, "We don't plan to fail, we fail to plan." And I think it's very important to know that you should plan your life. You should find some goal. Look at adults around you. Look at your parents. Look at their friends. Look at other adults around you. And look what they do. And think about it. Do you really want to do what they do? Do they enjoy what they do? And try and find something that you really want to do in life and go for that. And the other thing is never doubt yourself and your abilities. I was in the advanced classes here at Steele, but I wasn't the top student. I wasn't near the top student. And yet I achieved a lot in my life. And there are many, many people around me who are, I feel, more brilliant than I. years ago we had our 20th reunion, and it's quite a few years. I mean, it was good to see a lot of people again. And there were people who were successful in high school, who turned out to be successful in school, in life, in real life. But there were some who were successful in high school who didn't quite carry it on from high school. There were other people, however, who were average, who turned out to be very successful, became doctors and lawyers and everything. But one of the most disappointing things was there were some people who it seemed as if high school was the peak of their life. And they looked back at it as being the peak of their life. And I just want to say that this is a stepping stone. Take it from here and go higher. This should not be the peak of your life. So, in summary, get inspired, focus on your goals, learn from your failures, and never quit until you achieve them. And each and every one of you has immense opportunities for success. Challenge yourselves, see the world, and don't feel that being little actors, you can't do a lot of things in life that are very good for this country or for the community at large. I want to thank many of the teachers, particularly Mr. Powley and many of the Mr. and Mrs. Lyle here, Mr. Strong is still here teaching English. And I want the great education they gave, and I want to really thank my parents as well for always allowing me to get a further education and never putting a roadblock into me going on to achieve the goals that I wanted to achieve in life. Thank you.
I'd like to introduce Senior Pete Jeskins, who will induct Mr. Gary Meade from the class of 1950.
Good morning. I'm here to tell you a little about Gary Meade. After graduating in 1950, Gary served as a flight engineer in the United States Air Force during the Korean War. In 1959, he purchased the Lorraine Auto Body Company with 6 employees doing less than $100,000 worth of business. In 1969, with his partner Ned DeCenzo, Gary formed Lakeland Enterprises Corporation. The business started off as an auto retail business specializing in body shop work. The business became so successful that in 1980, the company began fighting with Ford Motor Company's best-selling vans for commercial use. In 1993, the company further expanded by adding a new division, the Lakeland Truck and Van Equipment Company. Then, in 1995, Ford honored Lakeland Enterprises with its prestigious Modified Vehicle Engineering Certification for meeting Ford's strictest engineering, training process, and quality control standards. Today Lakeland Enterprises is located in Lorraine. It has more than 50 employees, occupies 38,000 square feet of space, and last year did over $5 million in business. Gary has also been an outstanding example of the community involvement. He contributes both time and money to Amherst Public Schools, youth sports activities, and area park systems, and also to facilities for the aging. Unfortunately, Gary and me was unable to be here with us today due to an illness. But it has been my great honor to share with you what he has accomplished. Gary A. Meade, class of 1950.
resolved and is today the Who Club. She was voted Woman of the Year in 1997 by the Business and Professional Women's Club. She was coordinator and director for the Mayor's Ball. She has been running the election booths for over 35 years, and she also has been campaigning for Sherrod Brown since he has been congressman, and she also campaigns for Phil Smith. I congratulate Marie as a businesswoman, a volunteer, and a family. She deserves the city turn success, and she's been an inspiration to me always. I love her, and I give this to her with great honor.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank the student council and Mr. Clayton. And I want to thank all my friends that came today. The mayor, my nephew, Sheriff Smith, my brother, my sisters, my niece, my nephew, my friends, and a lot of the people from City Hall. I really appreciate this. I thought I knew what I was going to talk about, but first of all, I forgot somebody. I don't want to forget the person that nominated me, Bill Latrani. He was so persistent that I get this honor that he got the mayor to write a letter, and Judy Thornton from the library, and my daughter, and different people to write letters in my behalf. So I really want to thank Bill Latrani. I wondered what I was getting this award for. Is it because I ran a business for 25 years by myself? No, I don't think so. I think I'd like to know that I was getting this award for never leaving Amherst and dedicating all my goals towards Amherst and always doing things for my community and doing charitable work and fundraisers. My daughter says I get off on these things, and I think she's right. I really do. Putting together alumni when I thought our class was dead, I just got on a big high, and I did the 40th, and then the 45th, and then when I did the 50th, it was just glorious. But I also enjoy doing charitable work and working for my community. Whenever there's anything to be done, I want to be in on it, and I feel bad if they don't ask me. And if they do ask me, I don't know how to say no, because just like all my other colleagues over here that we inducted, they always said that we have goals to meet. And all my life, since the day I got married, which was right after high school, I've had goals. I had goals on building a home. I had goals on raising a family, which I did very well with. And when I was in high school, I had rheumatic fever, and I remember the doctor told me I should never have any children. Well, I guess I fooled him. I ended up with 8. But anyway, I always had goals in my life. And right after my husband and I got married, we joined the Amherst, it was the Junior Chamber of Commerce. And from that time on, we always was into something until my husband passed away in 1977. And when I went to business, I joined the Chamber of Commerce. And here's something that Katrina probably doesn't know. Yes, I was in the Junior Chamber of Commerce. The JCS was the women's organization. I was in the Amherst Chamber of Commerce. I was in the Business and Professional Women's Club. But all these clubs have dissolved due to lack of volunteers and workers. I never give up. If something is going bad and we're lack of volunteers and they need work, then I'm going to do extra right now, we are working very hard to do the same thing this year for one of your students. So I hope that one of your students will qualify to get our $1,000 scholarship that we are working very hard. So if you see one of us girls wearing our shirt with a little logo with an owl on it, which means who, Women Helping Others, if you happen to see us at a store, maybe Walmart at Broward Station a couple weeks ago, or Aaron's Drug Mart, or any of these places, Eagles, Greeny Beagles, we are selling candy bars for the Steele High School Scholarship to benefit youth. And if you see us selling poinsettias or flowers, we're doing it to raise money, and we work very hard. So I really want to thank you all. God bless you, and God bless America.
I would like to introduce Senior Matt Fry, who will adopt Major Stephen Rada from the class of 1983.
Good morning. Our next inductee comes to us from the U.S. Air Force, Major Stephen D. Rhoda, joined the Air Force in May 1988 and graduated in May 1989. But before all of his military training, Mr. Rhoda was sitting in this school in the same classroom and in some cases with the same teachers you and I see each day. He was involved in the student council and German club. He was a 3-year letterman in track, throwing both discus and shot put. He was also a 3-year letterman in football, serving as the captain his senior year. Major Rhoda graduated with a 3.0 GPA in 1983. He then went on to Akron State University, where he earned a bachelor's degree in computer science. While attending ASU, he joined the Air Force Reserve Officer Training Program, for which he was awarded a full scholarship in 1987. Rhoda then went on to receive his Master's of Aerospace Science from Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University in 1997. Major Rhoda has been honored for his outstanding service to our country. For displaying outstanding skill, courage, and resourcefulness in the face of imminent danger while flying combat support missions during Operation Desert Storm, he received the Aerial Achievement Medal. For duty served during Operation Silver Fox, he was awarded the National Air Medal and personally thanked by Secretary of State. He made an emergency landing with low fuel and with 21 American citizens on board. Major Rhoda has a wife and 2 children. His mother was a teacher in Amherst for 8 years. And he can't be with us here today, so Mr. Donner is going to read a letter from Major Rhoda.
I'd be remiss if I didn't make mention this is a real honor for me. It might be hard to do. Students, faculty, distinguished alumni, and guests, thank you so much for this distinguished honor. I greatly regret that I'm unable to attend today's induction ceremony and homecoming celebration. The Air Force has assigned me to Air Command and State College, a year-long graduate level program attended by over 500 U.S. and international military officers. The course is designed to enhance our ability to fight your nation's wars in air and space. Unfortunately, principal would not excuse me without a note from President Bush, and since he's a little busy running the country at this time, you have to listen to this letter instead. First, I'd like to acknowledge all the teachers who are here today, as well as those teachers who have gone before you. I deeply respect your profession and firmly believe that you have one of the toughest jobs on earth. You are continually expected to instruct, I received in your classrooms was valuable. The mentoring I received as a student has made an indelible mark on my life. I've been fortunate to have a number of mentors over the past 36 years. One who was here during my years at Steele served as my football and track coach. In order to appreciate the impact he had on me, we weren't always good. It's important to realize how truly terrible our varsity football teams were. I'm quite certain we were among the worst in Amherst football history. That makes me feel good. During the 1981 and 82 seasons, we accumulated an embarrassing 217-1 record. And you laugh. Fortunately for us, the Lakeland Football Conference included Oberlin High School, when things might have been worse. Losing stuff, but it is even tougher when it happens frequently. As a formative teenager, it would have been very easy to throw in the towel and to take up golf at a much earlier age than I eventually did. Fortunately for me, guys like my coach were there to help me stay the course. I realized losing the two football games isn't that important in the big scheme of things, but the kind of adversity occurred during a time of my life when adversity was fairly non-existent. My coach could have, during that time in my life when adversity was fairly non-existent, my coach could have given up and done something a little more lucrative, but he continued to teach and set a positive example through the end of each season. While doing this, he helped instill two values: humility and honor. You see, it's easy to be graceful when life hands you good things, but it takes a great deal more to be honorable and honorable when the going gets rough. Mentoring is one of the most important forces there is in making a lasting impact on the lives of others. My experience on the athletic field, my association with my coach, have impacted my life and echo on all that I do. This is why I'm honored that Coach Richardson agreed to read this today. It's been over 18 years since I left set foot in Marion Steele High School, but it seems like yesterday. Felt the anticipation and anxiety many of you may be feeling as you begin the 2001-2002 school year. Many of your seniors are already contemplating next year. I'm wondering what's in store and what the future may bring. Some of you have already selected colleges or are thinking about college. Some of you maybe have other plans. Regardless of what your plans are, you're probably already asking yourself a bunch of questions. Where am I at? Where am I going? What am I going to do with my life? Unfortunately, I don't have the answers to those questions. But I can tell you without a doubt that what you do today affects everything you do tomorrow, and there's not a thing you can do about it in reference to yesterday. When I first heard that I was being considered for induction in the Gallery of Success, I started thinking about where I've been, how all the experiences of my life have led up to this day. I thought about what kinds of witty words and wisdom I might pass along to you. Found myself reading through my old high school yearbooks and report cards and see if there were any glaring clues which pointed to my personal success. About all I could find was a fairly anonymous teenager who maintained, about to be average, who had a lot more hair then than I do now. And believe me, send me a picture, he's not lying. Fortunately for me, my academic performance improved over the years, and I eventually completed my master's degree with distinction. However, I don't attribute that to success of the added intelligence, but to the realistic, attainable goals I set myself. This is an approach I didn't actually take until a few setting provides clarity and a substance to everything you do. And it's one way to get a handle on what you might want to do tomorrow. It is also important to realize that you cannot change anything you've done in the past. You can, however, learn from it and learn from those that have gone before you. And this is what I think the Gallery Success Program is all about. The people who are here before you were all once sitting in the same seat you're in and asking the same questions you're asking yourself. I would bet they're probably all still asking themselves similar questions, because today's answers simply lead to tomorrow's questions. You know, sometimes I still ask myself, what am I going to be when I grow up? Once again, thank you very much for this distinguished honor. Good luck to you all, and good luck to the team in tonight's game. Go Gunners. Major Steve Ruler.
I'd like to introduce Senior Kim Meredith, who will induct Sharon Kelly from the class of 1979.
Good morning. A child is born without a leg, but he will walk one day. A man loses his arm in an accident, but he will hold his child again. How will this happen, you ask? Because of professionals like my Aunt Sharon. Here's a short story of how she got to where she is today. Just 4 short months after the untimely and devastating death of her father from a heart attack at the age of 46, Sharon began her high school career at Marion, Steele. With the tremendous strength and support of her mother, Sharon maintained a 3.3 grade point average in her college prep academic program, was a member of the track team, the Amherst Gals, and the National Honor Society. Sharon worked at Walt Wyville's Texaco gas station in downtown Amherst, was a Lorraine International Festival princess, and she continued her formal ballet training with the Cleveland Pacific Ballet, which she had done for 13 years. The result of an occupational survey taken in her counselor's office during her senior year at Steele suggested that Sharon was destined for an occupation that involved assisting others in the medical field. Therefore, she chose to attend Tulane University in New Orleans to major in biomedical engineering, which would eventually lead to a career in prosthetics, artificial limbs, and orthotics, braces for dysfunctional limbs. Sharon obtained a Bachelor of Science degree in engineering from Tulane in May of 1983. In August 1983, she enrolled at Northwestern University and earned a certificate of prosthetics in December 1983. To this day, Sharon attributes her passion for her career in the medical field in part to Mr. Towsley, who was her science teacher while at Steele. Sharon worked for Medical Instrumentation Systems in Lorraine, where she tested and repaired medical equipment, and for Fairview Hospital in the Biomedical Engineering Department during college. After graduating from Tulane, she worked for Newington Children's Hospital in Newington, Connecticut, as a bioelectric specialist in pediatric upper extremity prosthetics. In January 1985, she began her career with hanger prosthetics and orthotics in Washington, D.C. as a staff prosthetist. In January 1986, she transferred to hanger prosthetics and orthotics in Cleveland, where she founded and developed the prosthetics department. In January 2001, she was promoted to regional area practice manager with a staff of 47 prosthetics and orthotists in 5 offices throughout Northeast Ohio with an annual revenue of $7 million. One of Sharon's professional goals was to become the first and only female national vice president in the country. Sharon holds more than 10 professional certifications in the prosthetics field. She is actively involved with numerous clubs, organizations, and foundations in Bay Village, where she resides with her husband, Clay Kelly, MP, and their 3 sons, Ian, Sean, and Evan. Sharon enjoys playing soccer, reading, snow skiing, playing the piano, and boating in her spare time. And now, I'm proud to introduce my aunt, Sharon Livingston Kelly, Marion Field Tech in 1979. Congratulations, Sharon.
lunch